Congrats.
Masters of Science in Data Science. 25, 3 degrees, 2 six-figure businesses. Still not enough, though.
You going to homecoming this weekend for Georgia State?
Nah, I have homecoming at Bama. Damn. We're booked, so yeah. Gotta go collect the bag. Unfortunately, I haven't tapped into the Atlanta market, even though I'm from here. But it's because I don't really care about it. When I get to it, when I do Atlanta, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star. I don't, and Atlanta, and I'm gonna get it. Look, we're gonna get into that too. There are too many sections in these clubs. Stop it. Stop having these sections in these clubs. It doesn't need. Last time I remember, like I said, remember when we were growing up, we all understood what did VIP stand for? Very important people, not very important everyone. This is not the VIE section. Sections, everyone should not be able to buy a section.
Bring your mic closer to you. I'm gonna turn you down, but bring your mic closer so you can be like
you hear me?
solid.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody should not be able to buy sections. There should be a balance of a dance floor, a bar area, and a section. Because there's some days I go out and I just want to go buy a couple drinks and kick it with the guys. And my whole thing is, and sorry about this one, but if I'm with, you know what I'm saying, fellas, look, if we trying to go get a shawty, back in the day when you in college, things of that nature, you go to the party, you dance with her a little bit, you get this, drink. You can't do that if they all put up in a section. I can't holler at shawty if they all put up in the section. Cause I'm not finna let no random dude, not finna cuss or nothing like that. So I'm gonna keep it PG for everybody. I'm not gonna let no random dude walk up in my section that I paid for to talk to the women I'm with, unless we swapping something out. You know how that, you know what I'm saying? But there need.
At the same time, it would make it easier though, because the girls that do want to be approached are gonna be the ones that's at the bar. The ones that's in
But
the section,
there's no bar. But the bar. But that's the problem. There's no bar. You're correct. That's how it's supposed to be. But the problem is, okay, cool. When there's a balance, I can leave the section, go to the bar, holla at shawty, tell her I'm finna bring her back to the section, get her a couple drinks, you know what I'm saying, throw some razzle dazzle on it. Maybe I get lucky, maybe down the road, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like when it's all sections, the bar is half the size of this room. What am I supposed to do? How am I? You either going, and then it's just like at that point, you either gonna find them off social media or randomly get lucky. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay, you got some girls here and there that, like, we call them, the section hoppers, you know what I'm saying? You got the girls that go to the club that legitimately hop from section to section. Are you really, don't nobody know them? Are you really trying to mess with those women? Are those the women you want to be with? You know what I'm saying? I want to find the elite. That's why I think a lot of us, we always claim that college is the best years of our lives and things of that nature, because of the sense of the community, the ability as a man to be like, bro, the ability to be able to come up, and that's the point of going to the club. You go to the club to get women. You go to and as a girl, you go to the club to meet people. Plain and simple. You go to the club to meet people. If everybody's in a section, I could have bought 2 Azul bottles, put some sparklers from Party City, and had a girl bring them out to me on the 2 couches I have in my apartment. I don't want a party the size of an apartment. You got this big club and you got groups of 10 to 12 just kind of like separated from each other. The aroma, the vibe, the essence of it all, it ruined. And that's why nobody likes going to the club for real no more. That's why you see all these complaints, because there's no camaraderie when you're in the point. Like I said, when I'm throwing my events as Cave Cartel, if y'all don't know who I am, you know what I'm saying?
Pause. Are we filming? Oh, okay.
Yeah, let it ride.
Oh no, I didn't know. I like it. I just didn't know.
Yeah, I told him hit the button, let it ride. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? The one thing that I prided myself on in all of this is I'm a rock star and I like high energy. I like going to island parties, by the way. I love going to island parties. And the reason why I do is because when I leave the party, I know I done talked to this many women. I done drunk me. I done had some good liquor. I done what I had to do. I went home. I'm tired. I'm fulfilled. I can chill in the house for a couple weeks knowing that I had fun and go do it again on the next major event. You know what I'm saying? But it just feels like everyone's sitting here doing this.
So boring. I tell people that all the time. I'm like, you don't know how to party until you go out of the country. Like Atlanta's just like
Yeah, and
Atlanta's so boring.
a lot of these folks,
believe it.
and so like I grew up here. Like I'm from the South Side, Zone 3. You know what I'm saying? Shout out, shout out to Zone for sure. You know what I mean? I'm from Zone 3, but I knew what happened was for me when I was doing my college tour. So I played ball. I was pretty good when I was doing my college tour, seeing where I was gonna play ball. It's like he just said. I realized, wait a minute. There's more out here than Atlanta. A lot of people from here don't realize that.
Facts.
There's more to the world than Atlanta, Georgia. I didn't realize that until I started traveling and going doing more. So that's one of the reasons I chose the University of Alabama, was because it was like I'm going to the country where I'm forced to have to be creative. I had to learn to create. As I learned to create, I started then saying, well, if Alabama has this, what about Mississippi? What about Louisiana? What about Texas? What about Oklahoma? What about Kansas? Everybody has their different culture. So what I started doing was one year, I took some time where I had a map. I had a map of the 50 states. I took a dart that I got from the bar. I would throw it at the states. I was making good money. I was Ubering. Uber just came out. So, and so like, I'm making like $1,200 a week. Rent was like $450 back then. Like college rent was cheap. I worked for the complex, so I got half off rent. Rent was $450, so I was pretty good in money. I had extra money, and back then I didn't really know much about investing, so I just had money laying around. So what I did was I would throw a dart at any state. Didn't matter if that thing landed on Kansas City, Missouri. You know what I did? I hopped in my Prius and I drove to Kansas City, Missouri. And I was stopping different things along the way. And that was one of the greatest things that I ever did for my life. I was 19 years old, 19 and 20 doing this. And what it did was it allowed me not only to network with people that I would have never expected, that you find they're doing similar things that you're doing, but they had their own little twist to it. I learned different cultures, different foods, met different type of people. We had similar upbringings, but it was unique in their own perspective, like area. And what I did and what helped me become more creative and stay original was going to these different places, getting paying homage to some of the ways they do things, and bringing those people down to Bama or down to Atlanta and providing that original, hey, this is something new that I found that was really cool up here. We could do our version of that, and it would be a smash hit. And I think that I attest that to me growing so much so fast was because I was willing to accept that there's more than me, than what I'm doing out there. A lot of people, they kind of get big headed, like Atlanta gets this big old, we're celebrities. Yeah, you're celebrities, but there's celebrities elsewhere too, and they banging. And they doing pretty good.
Thanks.
And so whenever I do throw events in Atlanta, like we have a pool party we do every year, it always goes crazy. You want to know why? Because we're probably one of the few people that tells our DJs, play as little Atlanta music as possible. Play as little Atlanta music as possible. I want you to play. And the Atlanta music you do play, we're going to play the Anti the Menace, the Baby Drills, the things the new stuff. I've never been afraid to break in new music at parties. I have a TikTok playlist that I update every week. I go through Destroy Lonely, Kid Lori, what's his name? I just wanna rock. You know what I'm talking about? The Lil Uzi. We're gonna play that this weekend. And I have always been a person that wants to bring in the new. Because in this day and age, in social media society, It's not just about, it's no longer about providing great content. You have to keep up. You have to keep up. But there's a right way to keep up. It's not just pushing what you do. There's North Carolina. You have North Carolina, Memphis, hot right now. Detroit music, Peasy, YFNJ, Babyface, Free My Boy Rio. You know what I'm saying? We can go on and on, right? We got, St. Louis. You got Texas with the Rockstar era. You got, out west, R.P. Drakeo, you know what I'm saying? And people, I was the only person who used to play, what's his name, who made the Wilt Chamberlain song, the group that broke up. They made the Wilt Chamberlain, hold on. SOB that's the gang, yeah. SOB. But I used to play it. People wouldn't know. Yeah, obviously I'm not gonna play it at midnight. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll get into that in a second. But I'm not gonna play it, during prime time. But I'll play it to warm people up. You know what I'm saying? And I'll go. We'll go from 2008 to 2014. We'll go back to those, songs, wake people's memories up, things of that nature, because that stuff's very important. There is a billion different songs. There are billions of songs. Why are we all playing the same music every single party? Please go play. I don't care if you play Miley Cyrus. I promise you I'll be like, put your hands up and play my song, Butterflies Fly Away. I promise you I'm going to go crazy.
So wait, so let me ask you this then. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's the new promoter thing? Or do you think like that's just something that it's always been that way?
These new promoters are too money oriented and not focused on the craft. And that goes for not just promoters, that goes for these people, not talking about y'all, but these people doing podcasts, these people doing drop shipping, these people doing real estate, everybody. These people, first of all, just give y'all a credit, right? I'm going to give y'all flowers. This is the first place I've ever walked into. I felt like it was professional. I felt like somebody was actually putting in the time and effort to master the craft and not just focused on the money. Too many people, we're in this microwave era. That's what I call it. It's the microwave era. Everybody wants to get it and they want to get it quick. If they don't get it in 2 weeks, we move on to the next project. Newsflash, I'm here to let y'all know. I spent 8 years curating to get to 100K. I spent 8 years to get to 6 figures. There is no shortcut. There is no get rich quick scheme. Excuse my language. Get your ass up. Put the hours in. Find something you love. And make it happen. If you're a good artist, draw for 8 hours a day. If you're good at coding, code in Python and SQL 8 hours a day. Do that. And then what you're going to learn is, as you do that, you're going to learn every component of it. The business side, the law side, the marketing side, the psychology side. Your time, as you master the craft and you master different elements of it, you're then able to monetize the different elements of it. As you're able to monetize the different elements of it, you will make more money. Master your craft and your craft will take care of you.
So do you think social media plays into this like microwave era?
Social media plays into the microwave era if you let it. A lot of people want to take the easy way out and they see people on social media talking about how, I just made 100,000, doing this and that. What you don't see is, and what I try to show on my social media is the 5-6 years of failed products and failed ideas that happened before the 100K sparked. Everyone wants to talk about our wins. Hey, look. I done took $5,000-$10,000 L's throwing parties and artists before, bringing artists. I've taken that out of my own pocket. I done sat there and had to eat ramen noodles for 2 weeks because I had to put my last $113 into my party in order to make it happen. I'm here to let you know it exists. Don't get so fooled on social media and Instagram, and don't let these people, these fake influencers that are renting out stuff, make you feel like you haven't made it because you're 22 and you're only on step 1 or 2 in life. It's okay. Relax. Work on your craft. Focus on that. Stop worrying about money. As a matter of fact, the first 2 years of whatever you're doing, you shouldn't worry about making a single dollar. You should not worry about making a single dollar. You should worry about scaling it up and reinvest everything you do.
The fake entrepreneurs would tell you, like, if you don't make 6 figures in the first 6 months to a year, then you a failure, and that's major cap.
They're not real entrepreneurs. They're idiots. I'm here to let y'all know. They're idiots. Stop it. It doesn't exist. That's not real. Bill Gates didn't build Microsoft in a year. He's still getting better. He 30, 40 years in. Stop it.
Wait, I gotta ask you this. What did you think about that Forex era?
Forex is a real thing. The MLM strategy is nothing new. All they did was take a pyramid scheme and added an education system to it. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, if you know how to trade, and we'll get into trading in a little bit, you know how to trade Forex. Again, for those who don't understand what Forex is the foreign exchange currency market. Whenever you go to the airport and you see people exchanging dollars for yen or yen to dollars and things of that nature, you're basically trading those price movements based on commodities, goods, tariffs, things of that nature. With energy crisis, global economy, things of that nature. You're basically trading those movements. Now, that's a real thing. Again, if you can get good at Forex, I would tell you to do it. Me personally, I stayed away from the foreign exchange markets. They move too fast for me. You have to pay attention to it too much. But at the end of the day, it's a skill you have to learn. Mm-hmm. I know people that make $10,000 a day trading Forex. They really took the time to learn the skills. I also know people that they're not built for it. Mm-hmm. I don't agree with taking signals. I think that they're good suggestions, but overall, I don't ever agree with you putting your money in the hands of somebody else not knowing what's going on. Mm-hmm. I will never tell anybody to do that. That's why Shaq is one of my favorite role models, because Shaq took the time out of his day to go learn every aspect of what he's doing. Oh, I don't know law? I'm going to go get my JD. Oh, I don't know business? I'm going to go get my MBA. You hear his stories all the time about how people didn't take him serious in the business rooms. So what did he do? He went and got the credentials to make himself be taken serious. Anyways, we can get to the introductions now. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the camera's already rolling.
I know. We can get to the introductions. So, anyways, for y'all understanding, my name is Justin Simpson James. Master's of Science in Data Science at Georgia State University, bachelor's in business economics, minor in real estate. That's the day version of me. The night version of me, most know me as Move Maker. We go by the Cave Cartel. This is one of our prototype shirts. Don't worry about this. None of y'all can get this. This is not for sale. We are the Cave Cartel. We throw concerts. We are rock stars. I am not a promoter. Do not label me as a promoter, because I don't like the word promoter. I am a rock star. I am an event planner, because I like putting together events that are not parties. I like doing fashion shows and community events and basketball tournaments, things of that nature. And a future club and concert owner. My goal is to have my own festival one day.
Okay, that's really, really dope. So how did you first join the Cave Cartel?
So to give you the story on Cave, we have to kind of scroll back to 2014. Okay. I graduated high school a year early, so I was 17 when I graduated. I got to Bama. I chose Bama over Georgia State originally because Roll Tide, first of all, we're champions. And also I wanted to, again, as I said earlier, I needed to experience something that wasn't Atlanta. I needed to see the rest of the world in order to create myself. And so when I got to college, I kind of ran into a little problem. You have to be 19 to get into all the clubs and bars in Bama. I was 17. Wasn't going to be able to get in for a whole year. So basically what happened was I said, okay, well, I want to be sociable, because I wasn't really that sociable in high school. Like, I talked to people like that, but I played basketball, went home, and played video games. So I wanted to kind of get out more, meet new people, meet more women. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And things of that nature. So I said, well, I can't go to the party, so I'm going to bring the party to me. So we had this group me back in the day. It was the UA 18 group me. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to throw a dorm party. I had like this $500 gift card I got from college. I blew 300 of it on liquor. Yeah, I had somebody go buy me a bunch of liquor and stuff like that. And we had a beer pong tournament at my dorm. And it was really dope. And people were like, you should do it again. So I did it again for my birthday. And then for my birthday, we kind of just fast forward. Eventually, I got too big for the dorms. Like, I'm talking about, names that I won't name because they're in the NFL and stuff like that. So I'm going to, keep them professional. Used to pop up to the dorms and stuff like that. And it got so big that I had to move it to a house. So then a couple of my buddies, we had 3 or 4 houses that we used to rotate out of. A couple of friends I had, that just lived in Tuscaloosa. They had houses that they would let me use. So then I started throwing house parties. And again, I'm not getting paid a dime for this, by the way. I was just doing this because I love to do it. And I just developed a passion for it. And then... and I mentioned that $113. This is that story. 2016, I met up with a group of guys. We started a conglomerate called the Home Team, which exists. I'm no longer a part of, but it exists. Because I joined the Caves later on, which we'll get to that in a second. Where we basically we got a building and we threw a party. Our first party was called Shoot Your Shot, the Jersey party.
Okay.
And so, that's why I say I had $156 after I paid everything. All my rent, my bills, and everything. I took $113 of that. I put it towards the building. And the other $42 whatever I had, I pretty much ate. I had to live off that for 2 weeks. But I'll never forget that first paycheck after 2 years. Mm-hmm. That first, I think it was only like $300-some. But it was that first paycheck after like 2 years that I got, and I was like, it's all worth it. I'm never going back. And basically from there, we got bigger and bigger, started throwing parties at Mardi Gras and different schools. Did a couple things here in Atlanta, of course, had to come home, pay homage. Then I split off, started doing my own thing for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Then my boy JT, who I wish was here right now. Shout out my boy JT, my graphic designer, also my right hand, my brother for life. He came in a couple years after me. He was a freshman. He was kind of the young one in the game. Mm-hmm. And basically, long story short, I sat down with him and I said, hey, we could really take this over. I really like this cave idea. I think that the cave, like the idea of it, is something that we could really run with. Like because at the end of the day, I'm Move Maker, but the conglomerate that we're under is Cave Cartel. Mm-hmm. He's always going to be JT the OG. There's always going to be D5, which is our host. There's always going to be Jay Gated, our manager. There's always going to be Views by Rob. We all have our own individual brands, but we wanted to show people that you can have an individual brand and still work together and be a conglomerate. And so thus we created, the conglomerate, Cave Cartel. And, like I said, our goal again is freedom, rock star, enjoyment, right? Everything that embodies that. Everything that is, when you come, I don't care if you owe money, if you're about to go to jail next week, that's a true story. Or whatever's happening in your life. You come to us, we're going to make sure you have an amazing time. And that's kind of like our motto. It's just to make sure that we take care of the people. So, yeah, but that's kind of how Cave Cartel started and how I kind of got into everything. Basically, it was an accident, really. But sometimes the best accidents, they lead to great things in life.
So when y'all would throw these, once the parties moved from the dorm and y'all, started doing it in houses, like, would you charge people?
Yes.
To come in?
So not the houses.
Okay.
Houses, we just did them. We just did them just to do them. Again, I didn't start charging people until we got to actual buildings, because that's when I actually had to start putting up money for things. Mm-hmm. Most times, the way we would do it is, if there was a house we were throwing it at, we would kind of just go in on liquor and stuff like that, because you gotta have party favorites at the party, you know what I'm saying? And long story short, I would just do it. It was basically just for the people. I didn't take, but see, the thing is, I was still trying to force myself to be an engineer, which, of course, I'm good at it, and it just wasn't my passion. Mm-hmm. And that's why it goes to say, find something you love to do and then find what you're good at and put it together, which is something I'll get into in a second.
I like that.
But yeah. So I didn't take the party throwing serious, because you know how people be, oh, you're throwing parties, that's not a real job.
Yeah.
Hey, $120,000 a year is.
But let's talk about that real quick though. So, Okay, first, how did you go about finding the building? So you moved from the dorms, right, to the house parties and to actual building. So what was the process like?
Google.com. Event venues in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Call everybody. My boy Smoke, who used to throw parties with me a long time ago. Now he works on cars and he does car racing. Well, because that's what he loves to do. But he knew of McKinstry and made that connection. We was at Waffle House, made the connection. We was eating waffles, and Waffle House not in Georgia is nasty, by the way. Just let y'all know.
You said Waffle House
Waffle
in
House
Georgia?
not in Georgia
Oh.
is nasty. Waffle House not in Georgia is nasty. I wouldn't do it, but Waffle House in Georgia is amazing. But either way, anyways, I was at Waffle House. He made the connection. We pulled up the McKinstry Banquet Hall. He was like, I think it was like $700 to rent the building out. We all looked at each other and was like, shit, we're going to have to split this. Oh, excuse me, my bad. We're going to have to split this $113 each. And yeah, we paid for that, the building and the security. The party went completely wrong, by the way. We couldn't get half the people in. I had no idea what I was doing. I was not prepared for 1,000 people to show up. Yeah, but it was lit. I still have that footage too. It was lit though. But
So I'm curious to know, because I know like you guys already had a following, right, from college, but how were y'all able to spread the word and like really grow that following?
so there's a multitude of ways. So first of all, let me give my flowers to Jamari. You know what I'm saying? Jamari, if you ever listen to this, hey, you taught me damn near everything I needed to know. Thank you forever. He is also responsible for the majority of these Atlanta artists and promoters and people being who they are today. I just want y'all to know, a lot of y'all need to give him public flip praise and flowers.
What's
a
his
lot of y'all
social,
owe
you
him
know?
credit. His social is Jamari Jones ATL. Yeah. Jamari Jones ATL. If y'all don't know, I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but yeah, his social is Jamari Jones ATL. He runs the company Crowded Functions. He pretty much is somebody that I saw growing up who did a lot of parties, and basically, you know, I learned a lot from him. And the reason why I mention him so much is because basically our third year, we got a chance to, this is when Panama City just got shut down, and we got a chance to go to Miami for spring break. We started the whole Miami spring break wave, kind of, basically we did. And again, you know, first time going down there, didn't know much of what I was doing. It was all a learning curve, but I saw him, you know, collecting numbers and emails and things of that nature, and I was kind of just like, what are you doing? And he was like, I'm building a database. And I was just like, what do you mean by that? And he was just like, yeah, I'm building my database so that we can reach people and continuously reach people and continue to build the database for retention. And building that database and really focusing on making sure my social media was on point and building the database, you know, things of that nature, and finding creative. Now, you can't just build the database. It's hard to do it. You have to still be creative with it. But being the creative I am, and being able to share those creations with a multitude of people allowed it to compound. Because what happened was, if you're good, the world will see you. But what if you can show the whole world that you're good? Because some people can't show the world that they're good because they don't have the database to back it up. And so to all the real creatives, not the people that are in it for the money, I ain't talking to y'all, all the real creatives, you have to build your database. You have to build the business side of it. So that's kind of how we got big. I got really into learning how to build databases and learning how to filter databases correctly. And so, you know, Miami was a big one because obviously Miami, we had people from all over the country in one area, you know, different colleges. And so, you know, being able to build that database from Miami, and, you know, being like, oh, well, they were so lit in Miami, I wonder what they're like elsewhere. And so then we would start to travel to different schools, and obviously they'd be like, oh, I remember y'all from Miami. Or like there'd be like 10, 15 people that remember us from Miami, and they would tell everybody else, yeah, they're lit. They're from my, you know what I'm saying? We was at they stuff in Miami. They're lit. So, you know, that's kind of how that happened. And we're still growing. Again, I feel like I'm only 10% there. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I was talking about, like, now I'm 25 and I'm older now, but like, I have so much more to do. Like, I still have to do a show with Travis Scott and Trippie Redd. I still have to do a show with I still want to do a show with Playboy Cardi, Yachty. I still have like some shows that I want to get done, like with some women artists, like of course Glow and like Lakia and Flo and plenty of other people, but potentially together, Don Toliver, things of that nature. I want to be like the DJ Khaled of concerts, like how he is with his albums and how he puts these different people together the right way and makes his beautiful products. I want to do that, but for concerts and festivals. I have a lot of ideas for that, but either way.
So what was that first 6-figure check like?
The biggest check I ever got was Cameo City Girls 2018. I think we ran up like 130,000, 140,000 in one night. Never seen that kind of money in my life. I ain't gonna lie. That's when I realized, stop saying this is not a real career. Anything that makes money is a career. I'm here to let y'all know. And you can build it up as far as you want to go. So all that, go get a job BS, stop it. I'm making more money than my professors. Now, what I did learn is that that's not enough. And I got contempt for a while and started realizing, and then COVID hit and I was like, oh, wait a minute. I got to learn how to do more. And that's how we cue learning how to trade.
We're going to talk about it in a second.
Which we'll get into in a minute. You know what I'm saying?
So 2 quick questions before we jump ship. So what's the process like of reaching out to celebrities when you host your parties?
Most of them you email. They'll get in contact with a booking manager, agent. They will send you a price. Obviously, you try to negotiate, work within budget. Some of them are reasonable. Some of them are not. Some of them think they're too hot for what they are. Some of them are, like I said, just in it for the money. So they're trying to get label money back. So they're trying to overcharge people like us to get the money back. I'm not going for it because I don't need to. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make the money with or without you. But it's good to have you, though. Do remember that, you're there to boost yourself, not just us. So, yeah, that's pretty much the most part. Some, like when you're speaking on people like Drake, you have to know people. Like I'm not on the level yet to where I feel like, hopefully I could. Drake, if you ever watch this, Tuscaloosa, Alabama definitely wants to see you. Roll Tide. I know you shout us out all the time. So, hey, you be wearing our jerseys, let me know. We can get the tickets. We can get the whole shebang. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, either way, obviously there's certain people that, I'm not on the level to contact right now. Mm-hmm. But of course.
But I think it's also important too for anyone that, wants to do this or is doing this. I think starting at a local level. So who's popping in your city, connecting with them first, and then just building that up to, the Drakes and the bigger artists. I think that's really, really important because you don't want to aim. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having big dreams, but you don't want to aim too high and then you keep on, letting yourself down and getting disappointed when the bigger people say, yeah, no.
If you truly have a passion for connecting people and throwing events, not like again, if you're just in it for the money, please ignore my comments. You're in the way. That's all I'm going to tell you. You're just in the way. If you truly are, and if you truly are trying to connect people and you love events and you love throwing them, the best thing I'm going to tell you to do is not just start local. Make your local people, make them look like national recognized people. Like, that's the thing I'm going to tell you to do. Make everything you do look larger than life. Be happy about it and start from the bottom. Also, don't be afraid to not make a dime off of it. Like, give people a reason to want to come spend money at your party the next time, right? People come to our events and pay $15, $20, $30, $40 because they know the product that they're getting. but they know the product they're getting because of the years that I spent showing them that without telling them to put up a dime. And now it's to the point where people want to pay me. They feel insulted almost that they don't pay for certain things because they feel like I deserve this because of the work I put in. That's what people don't understand. You'll get the money if people feel like they deserve it. Them clothes you wearing, you bought them because you feel like that company deserves it, right? Well, you didn't. Well, what about all the millions of dollars that company spent showing you they deserve it? You want those new Yeezys or them new Gucci shoes or them new, that, you know what I'm saying, that 613 wig, whatever. You want that because that girl or that dude or that company, whatever, showed you why you want it. So don't ever be afraid to spend the money to show people why. And, you know, if you have a talent for it, contact us. We might have a job for you.
Oh, there you go. So you mentioned earlier how once the pandemic hit, people like we weren't having parties because, you know, of course, COVID. That's how you kind of made that shift into online trading, stocks and all of that. So for the folks that are just, I don't want to say clueless, but they just don't know too much about online trading, could you just explain that briefly?
All right, so let's kind of go over it all in a story, right? 2019 December hit. Long story short, money stopped flowing in. Didn't have a job. I couldn't throw parties. I couldn't make the money. So basically, I had some money left over in my account, and my boy Eli, shout out my boy Elijah. I'm not happy with him right now. He went to Tennessee, so I'm not happy with him right now. But anyways, he sent me this book on options, and I learned how to trade stock options, which I'll get to that part in just a second. And basically, I really indulged myself in learning everything that has to do with not just stocks, but taking my money and making my money make me money without having to physically be there. Right? Shout out my girl Brianna. Shout out my dog. You know what I'm saying? She sent me a lot of information on that stuff on business. I had to go learn more about the business end of things, getting assets, investments, taking my money and going to invest in other businesses. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be a car washing business or a trucking business, or, you know, everybody likes these vending machines. So vending machine businesses, whatever, right? I had to go learn how to do that. And so, for me, I was always a good numbers and statistics guy. So I learned about stocks. So, it was an up and down process with learning how to trade stocks. The long story short, I did a lot of trial and error. If you want to learn in full, like the basics of, stocks and stuff like that, I actually wrote a book. If you go to movemaker.gumroad.com, I have a book. It used to be $5, but I upped the price now because I've already sold, a lot of copies of it. It's $20. It comes with the book, and it also comes with a free consultation for me. We can work on long-term, short-term, stocks. We can work on your plan. Do you want to trade? Do you want to be an investor? Do you want to buy leaps? Things of that nature, which all of that's in the book. It's 7 chapters. There's 7 videos with the chapter. And I put a lot of detail. I wrote it myself. I put a lot of detail into it. And any questions that you may have about it, I would, like I said, you can email me, whatever. Feel free. I'll answer them all. I'm always down to answer questions. And the reason I wrote it is because I feel like a lot of people want to get into stocks, but they have no idea where to start. They were like me, and they were like me, where you want to ask questions, but you don't know what questions to ask. Google can be your best friend, but if you don't know what to type in the search engine, if you don't know where to look, then there's nothing you to go for. So like some of the things that I go for in the book, right? We always talk about do your own research on a stock. What does that even mean? Well, I'm here to break it down for you. Doing your own research on stocks means that you're looking at earnings reports, means that you're looking at the company's good news and bad news. You're looking at the products that they're about to release, how the products they have already released, how are they selling, right? Are they producing cash? Because as a company, if you're not producing cash, you're not a good company. Are there any economic bills from the government that might affect this company? So, for example, Biden just announced that they're doing a $2 billion microchips program for companies that are, making microchips so that they can, build the infrastructure for EVs and electric cars. That bill directly affects that company, like NVIDIA, AMD, Microsoft, Tesla, companies that use microchips a lot, Intel, right? Why? Because more money is being allocated to those type companies. And so you look at these different things, and I go over various examples in the book. That's chapter 2, right? And then I also, in chapter 1, like we go over what is a stock? It's a publicly traded company, right? There's different types of stocks, right? There's individual stocks. There's ETFs, which is exchange traded fund, which is basically a compilation of different stocks by sector or by some format, right? Then there's mutual funds, right? Then there's dividends, then there's growth, there's dividend stocks. Certain stocks give you dividends. Sometimes it's per month. We call those income dividend stocks, which are monthly dividend paying stocks, and there's quarterly dividend paying stocks. Your normals, most tech stocks aren't dividend stocks, but most slower stocks like your Coca-Cola, your Microsoft, your Apple, those are dividend stocks, right? Some are in both, but it varies, right? Then there's, growth, et cetera, right? We can, you can go all day on it, right? But the main thing is, as far as like trading and investing are two different things.
Talk about it.
I want everybody to understand that. Trading and investing, two total roads. I invest 20, 30 years down the road, right? I'm putting money away every month. I'm letting that money compound over time. I don't care what the market does on a day-to-day basis. If I'm trading, I care what the market does on a day-to-day basis. I'm paying attention to economic news reports. You should know who Jerome Powell is. If you're trading and you don't know who Jerome Powell is, you're not trading. I'm just going to let you know right now. In Forex, crypto, or stocks. If you don't know who Jerome Powell is, you need to know who that is. For everybody that don't know who that is our advisor. That's the Fed chairman. That's the Fed chairman, the head Fed chairman, right? You should know who Powell is. You should know the whole board. Bostic, Powell, Bullard. There's like 6 or 7 of them. I don't know them all off the top of my head, but look them up, right? Google it. I'm trying to think what I pay attention to certain economic indications, right? You should pay attention to what he talks about, what Powell talks about. CPI, core PCE. You want to look at, debt to income ratios. You want to look at overall things, used car, every economic indicator, used car and new car inventories, and sales, right? You want to look at individual companies' growths and has the growth slowed down, has it sped up, things of that nature, right? You want to look at all of these different factors. And I'm actually going to soon, for everybody that's bought my book, I plan on sending out a newsletter at the end of the year with my 30 for 30 on what stocks I'll be investing in, not trading, but investing for the future. And I'll also be I'll also be coming out with a secondary book, which will be things to pay attention to while you're trading. Like, these are the most important things that you need to know about, because these things basically dictate how everything else is going to go, from my experience, right?
So I know a little bit about trading, but is it practical, but are you supposed to, because I know it's based on what the market is currently doing. Are you supposed to be spending like hours upon hours on the computer?
If you're trading, absolutely. Well, yes and no. Obviously.
But is that practical though?
When you start, you're going to. When you get good enough, you know what you're looking for, and you know what you're paying attention to, and you know what the signs are, so you become more efficient. But that goes with everything in life, right? I spent hours upon hours passing out flyers when I was building my database. Now I just send an email out to 50,000 people. It's different. Everybody's got to start from somewhere. You're going to have to put the manpower hours in when you first start. You got to learn the stuff first But now that I know what I'm looking for, I just set my alerts. I wait for my key levels. I wait for my supply and demand. I wait for certain things, and then I make my swings. Like, I'm not much more, like me personally, I'm not really a day trader as much anymore. I'm more of a swing trader. So what I more so do nowadays is I wait for key moments during the month. So if I know Powell's going to speak on, when does Powell speak? Matter of fact, let me check real quick. Hold on, y'all. Jerome Powell, next speech. Let's see. Powell speaks on, Powell speaks on, let's see, scroll down. He speaks on, I want to say next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, I want to say sometime next week. I think Powell's it's either next week or the next CPI meeting in November. But anyways, next time Powell speaks, so what I do is I'll let the market kind of do its thing for a little bit. I don't like trading in the zone. There's people that trade in the zone. Me personally, I have no care in the world to trade in the zone. I wait for key levels when things reach the moving average line, chapter 6 in my book, and chapter 5. When things reach moving average line, when things reach a certain supply and demand zone, and I play the break or the low. That's what I do. I don't trade in the zone. I wait for a key economic day, things of that nature. When that day comes, I enter in my position. I'll hold that position for a couple weeks to a couple months. For instance, I bought SPY puts at 429. In August, after the summer melt up, I knew that CPI was going to come in hot these next couple months, September and October. It did. I bought 420. I bought puts at 429. I held them all the way down to that drop the other day at 348. I sold that morning at 348. I went on about my day. 50-point handle, right? Because I don't have time to day trade anymore because it's not COVID anymore. Parties pick back up. I have things to do. I don't have time.
So let's say someone comes up with, like, let's say they got like 10, 15K on their hand, right? Mm-hmm. Should they put that money into stocks or should they put that money into trading?
So if you have $10,000 to $15,000 in your hand, the first thing you need to do is you need to find something that can cash flow you immediately. If you can trade and you feel like I'm good enough to trade, I'm comfortable enough and I've learned how to trade. Maybe I've been paper trading for 6 months or something like that, and I've gotten a really good strategy and I know my percentages are good and you feel comfortable with that, go do that. But I'm not going to recommend to tell you to trade because unless you know numbers, if you're really good at what you're doing, if you know how to pay attention to the market, and if you're good at economics, then, I'm going to tell you to do it. But if you're not, and you're not that well off at it, the best thing I'm going to tell you to do as far as stocks wise is go invest your money into certain stocks over a long period of time, whether it goes up or down, get 100 shares of the company, build your way up to that, and go sell covered calls on it. Go sell covered calls and cash secure puts on it. You can become the seller, which again we'll go. That's the chapter 5 and 6 of the book. Options. You know what I'm saying? I go over that. Basically, what a covered call is say you own 100 shares of the underlying stock. Let's just say Microsoft, right? You're allowed. So for an option, there's the buying of an option and there's a selling of an option. There's always a contract writer and a contract buyer. When you have 100 shares of a stock, or you have an option contract that is so far in the money, which is a poor man's covered call, but that's a little bit more advanced. We're not going to get into that. But long story short, if you have 100 shares of a stock, you are allowed to sell an options contract because an options contract is when an options contract is the right but not the obligation to buy or sell 100 shares of an underlying stock. And so when you have 100 shares, you're allowed to sell contracts against your shares. As long as those contracts expire worthless, you keep the money you sold it for. Or if you're smart, you don't have to wait till they expire worthless. Let's say you sold a contract for $500 and it goes down, it will be worth $150. You can just pay the $150 back and keep the difference, right? You can do this every week, every day, however you want to do it. It doesn't really matter. You can sell contracts against your shares. You can do this per 100 shares you have. So 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, et cetera, moving on. You know what I'm saying?
I heard once the stock becomes popular, that's when the value kind of decreases. Because I remember, I think it was last year when Elon Musk was on SNL, and I think he talked about Dogecoin, or there was like a rumor he was going to talk about it. So like hella people bought like stocks in it, and then it ended up just like going down.
Well, okay, so Dogecoin is crypto.
Oh, crypto, okay.
Crypto is, my bad, I did that on accident. Crypto is its own thing, and that's a space that I'm still getting better at. So I'm not going to speak too much on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm still
So
learning.
Robinhood, is that crypto too?
Robinhood has crypto buying abilities, but that's not real cryptocurrency. That's the derivative of crypto. And we're going to get into these scam companies we call Robinhood and Coinbase, but we're going to get into that in just a second, right?
I don't know what I did last year, but I know I downloaded Robinhood and I downloaded Coinbase. I know what I was doing, but I put $200 in each of them. And then I got like $70 back on both of them.
Well, what'd you buy?
I don't remember. It was like
Well,
last year.
Well, look, that's a good thing to know. You might want to know what you bought.
I don't know. I just saw some shit on TikTok.
Don't please. Okay, what I will say is, if you're trading, right, and again, if you're trading, 99% of the time, if you saw it on TikTok, it's the move already happened. Like, if you weren't there the day before Elon tweeted the GameStop tweet, you missed the wave. I'm sorry, y'all. I remember that day. I remember I was sitting in the room, me and my uncle, right? We had like $500 left to play with in our account for the day. And I remember it was $3.58 because the market closes at 4 every day. It was $3.58. And my uncle was like, we were talking about GameStop. And it was right before, it was at $78. This is right before the shoot. It was at $78, and we were talking about GameStop. And we were like, should we YOLO? And I was like, it's $500. We can get it back, right? He was like, yeah. I took the whole $500 and I bought like, I think it was like 5 $200 calls expiring like next week out the money. 4:15 comes. Elon Musk tweets, GameStop. And I wake up. My $500 became like $17,000.
Damn.
I was like, oh my goodness, Elon. I literally tweeted Elon. I was like, you're the greatest ever. Oh my goodness, I can't believe you just did that. Why? He was like, I was like, thank you for being on our side. The reason why, and it was crazy because it was just like literally like it was at like $90, 78, and then it went to 90, and then he made that tweet, and it went from like 90 to 250, and I went from like 500 to 750 to $15,000, and I needed that money too because again, this is like, you know, again, I'm not really making any money because we weren't throwing no parties, you know what I'm saying? So, but to get into Robinhood and crypto and everything else, like, you know what I'm saying, let me go over this a little bit. So, first of all, Robinhood is a horrible brokerage company. If you're going to use a real brokerage company, start with Webull. I like Fidelity. Fidelity is really good. I'm a fan of Fidelity. I'm a fan of course, Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim's a little bit more advanced, so I understand if you don't want to use it. Fidelity, I would recommend because Fidelity is a similar friendly user interface as Robinhood is. Mm-hmm. You can also have your Fidelity, debit card. Mm-hmm. You can use it as a bank, and also you can set up a Roth IRA. A backdoor one, whatever. You can also use it to. You can also trade options with it, and you can do regular things. So that's why I recommend Fidelity because it's a good starter. It's a good starter place. So that's it's a great starter place. I keep some of my long-term stuff there. You know what I'm saying? One of my accounts, but I ain't gonna tell you about the other ones. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't need to know about that. But another thing, Robinhood's a scam because they have delays on their. There's a multitude of things. They sell your information to Citadel, which they use to place bets against you to purposely make your money go down. Because that 1 second of time that they need to short the market, so if they see 60% of the public is on Tesla, they'll purposely sell that information a second faster to Citadel, and then Citadel will short your money and take all your money from you.
That
So
explains a
yeah,
lot.
that's why we don't use Robinhood. Same thing with Coinbase. They do the same thing. We don't use Coinbase. They're frauds too. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, I use Thinkorswim, E-Trade, Fidelity, Webull's cool. I like Webull. It's fun. You know what I'm saying? Those are good starter areas. Thinkorswim's more advanced. I would tell you to use Thinkorswim or E-Trade once you get more comfortable with terminology and things of that nature because the user face isn't as friendly. I'm trying to think what else I want to get into.
So wait, pause while you thinking. So out of cryptocurrency, trading or stocks, which one do you think is like the best entry level, thing for someone to get into?
Well, crypto's new, right? You know, there's still a lot we have to work on with crypto. The security aspect of it and things of that nature. Now, I mean, if you want to learn how to code and stuff like that, I'd go learn how to code and get into the crypto space. They're paying a lot of money for that. You know, obviously, I would tell you to start off with stocks and real estate. You should learn that first. So, you know, it's the stuff with the most, it has the most info out. So start with what's got the most info out. Learn stocks, learn real estate, learn how to make your money make you money. It doesn't have to just be by trading. Again, like I just told you, cover calls. If you got 10, 15 grand sitting away, there's no reason why you couldn't buy 100 shares and sell cover calls while your money appreciates. Do remember that you can also borrow on that money to use that money to go buy more assets, and you don't have to pay it back. I mean, I'm sorry, not you don't have to pay it back. That's the wrong way to say that. I'm sorry. And that you can pay yourself back on a much smaller interest. Hell, you don't even have to have a principal paying yourself back. And also, sometimes if you pick the right stocks, you can borrow on your stocks, and then your stocks triple in a year, and then your money triples in a year, and then you know the value of your stocks pays it back. Because if you went from 20K to 60K, then instead of just paying back 20K, you just go back to 40K. And you basically just had 20,000 of free money that you just used to go buy more assets. Now, please do not borrow on it and go blow it in, you know, on designer or whatever, right? Go do something with it.
That's the worst way to invest your money.
Don't get some money and go blow it. Please get your money, take 50%, automatically go buy some more assets. Make sure your money makes you more money. Because the whole point is you trade your time in for money. You then take the money and you trade it back for more time. That makes sense to everybody.
You mentioned earlier the different type of stocks folks can get into. So what, in your personal opinion, what's the best like entry level? Like for someone that's just starting out and they just want to make money?
Buy the S&P 500 if you want to learn. That's basically what most 401ks are based off of. It's easy, it's safe, it doesn't move fast, right? You know, Tesla will have, well, not anymore because they did the stock split, but they used to have 50, 100-point moves almost every other day, right? That's very hard and very volatile to keep up with. So my recommendation would just be buy ETFs. Again, that's something that we talk about in chapter 1 of the book. ETFs, exchange traded funds, they're a compilation of stocks. So therefore, they don't move as far. Some of my favorite ETFs, DRIV, BETZ, QCOM, QQQ, and SPY. SPY is the ETF for SPX.
So if somebody wants to play it safe, how much money should they invest?
Start with a penny and go from there.
A cent?
1 cent. I don't care what you start with. Just start with a penny and go from there. People always think you got to have this amazing amount of money to start investing. I started with $300. Start with a penny and go from there. I like that Acorns app. That Acorns app that like rounds your transactions up. Like if you spend $15.67 at Chick-fil-A and they take the other 23 cents and they put it in your investment portfolio. I love that idea. Do that. Start with a penny and go from there. Stop trying to, I'm going to wait till I get $10,000 and then I'm going to get in. You've been saying that $5,000 ago. Start with a penny. That's all you got to do. Literally.
We about to talk about real estate real soon, but before we transition into that, you think NFTs are a scam?
So how do I put this? Non-fungible tokens, NFTs, that's what it stands for. The whole JPEG BS, yeah, that was a money laundering scheme. That whole OpenSea.io, that buying Pokemon pictures of rocks and other BS, that was a scam. But The technology behind NFTs is going to change the world. And the reason why it is because it'll be a digital ledger on assets that we might not have been able to identify to other people. So, for instance, right? How do we know you own this podcast?
Am I supposed to answer that?
Yeah, how do we know you own this podcast?
I don't know. I just, you always see me in the front. I'm always talking. I run the social media pages and everything. So.
But what if I told you there was an NFT in your name that specifies, that's only yours, that specifies you own this podcast? That NFT could then be, you could sell that NFT as a company.
But what if like, because From the Block is trademarked, so how would that work then?
That's understandable, right?
Yeah.
So again, it's similar, right? Another thing that we also talk about. So let me give a better example. Actually, let's say, and this is where the change will come. Mm-hmm. Let's say you have this cool Sims character you create. How do I know you created it?
That's a good question.
Exactly. That's what the NFT world solves. Say my man's over here created a new Warzone skin, or he has this unique build in his 2K My Player. How do I know he created it? We really don't, right? You can't for 100% sure. NFT solves that problem. He has an NFT for that specific character. That is a non-fungible token that cannot be recreated. That is specifically for him. That is specifically for you. That token can then be monetized and sold or done whatever. So what it's going to really be, for as far as the way I see it right now, it's going to be good for the gaming space.
Yeah.
Because people are going to be able to create unique digital items that people are going to want to buy.
Mm-hmm. But then if you think about it too, think about like photographers.
Pictures. You're going to have pictures that are going to become NFTs. You're going to have tickets. You're going to have ticket memorabilia. Or maybe he took this video of LeBron James hitting a fadeaway and it was in phantom slow-mo and it was amazing. He'll be able to...
But doesn't that get kind of tricky though? Because let's say if he takes a picture of LeBron, right? Mm-hmm. Even though that he owns it and he's going to get money, but that's LeBron's image.
That's the next part that's going to be... That's where everything's going to kind of get figured out. Then it becomes, well, if that picture is me, I need a cut of it.
Yeah.
So then that's where the marketplace comes in. And that's what's got to be developed. You're completely right. That's what's got to be developed over the next 10 years. Now we got to get the laws and the security where you can't make money. If you take a cool picture, yeah, you're going to get paid for that picture, but you got to give me 30% because I did the action. Or Call of Duty provided the server. So yeah, you created this really cool skin, but I need 30% of that. I got to get a fee. Almost like how Airbnb collects fees for you putting your house up. Similar things, right? Airbnb collects their cut for providing the platform for you to be able to put the house up, but you ultimately put the house up and did the thing, right? And so vice versa, NFTs are going to kind of be a similar fashion. Where it'll be like, okay, this guy created this new Warzone, this new skin for Warzone, or this person created this new Sims area, or you see the Grand Theft Auto RP. I know y'all have heard about that, with T Grizzly. If you haven't heard about that, they're creating those, real person worlds, but you got to give me my cut for creating that NFT because I provided the platform. So if there's that's why GameStop's actually one of my future stocks because they're actually creating a marketplace where you can buy and sell NFTs across multi-platforms. And that's going to be, again, that's the future. There's going to be video games where you'll be able to play, it's going to, when we start having kids, our kids are going to be playing video games for money. They're going to legitimately be making money. These kids that are like them super geniuses that are 6, 7 years old, that are like these Warzone demons or these Skyrim demons or whatever, right? They're going to be playing, you remember RuneScape back in the day and Club Penguin? Stuff like that. There's going to be new video games that come out for those new kids where they're going to be collecting NFTs and making money. They're going to be asking us, hey, mom, hey, dad, I need you to give me $50 real quick. I'm finna go flip this into 500 because I got to go get to this super rare event for this game and get this one-of-a-kind NFT, and I'm finna go sell it on the marketplace for 5 racks. That's going to become a thing. Digital collectors items is going to become a thing, but the ones that have utility and purpose. Then there's going to become the next part where if you own this digital item, you'll be able to passively make X amount of money per month because people in this game or people in this space are using this item. You'll be able to rent it out, things of that nature. That's going to all, I'm telling y'all, again, our 2008 is here. I am here to let y'all know. We didn't get 2008. We were too young for it, for the most part. Most of us were, right? I was in 6th grade. Yeah, I was in like 6th, 7th grade. Our 2008 is here. You know, we all talk about how back in 2000, damn, I wish my mom or dad would have bought $100 worth of Amazon. I wish they would have bought $100 worth of Apple. We'd be rich. Newsflash, you're the parents now. It's here. Welcome. Hey, go buy that Tesla.
Quick, since you said our 2008 is here, let's talk about real estate.
The freedom of being in a house, also having your own bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes short-term rentals where, like, if you're a travel nurse or things of that nature, or you travel for work and you need places to stay, will always be a thing that is in style, right? I think that Airbnb people that have their prices have gotten a little too greedy.
Yes.
I think that they need to be regulated. I think Airbnb needs, if they want to save face, they need to regulate how much is being made. I also understand that it needs to be regulated based on how much rent is in this area. So I understand that part because rent is astronomically out of control. So rent needs to be controlled. And I think once rent is controlled, Airbnb prices will kind of come back down to earth, right? And so I think all of that is happening right now. We're all kind of seeing the effects. It's all happening right now. But do I think short-term rentals, are they good? I mean, if you have the model for it, yeah, of course. If you have the area, the location, of course. Now, I will always tell you, guaranteed money is better than, riskier money, expected money. So, of course, obviously, if you can get a tenant and that tenant can pay you the mortgage plus an extra $700 a month, that's great. I would tell you to do that. Why? Because then you can just pull the equity out of that house and go get another one and keep repeating this process, the BRRRR process, one of the oldest tricks in the book, buy, renovate, refinance, repeat, right? The BRRRR process, right? We've all done this. Any real estate guru will tell you it's one of the most simple things to do. You buy a house for $120,000, you put $30,000, $40,000 in renovation, you rent it out for $1,500 to $1,600 a month. You get $500 to $600 in passive income from it, and on top of that, you take the refinance. Let's say it refinances for $220,000, $230,000. You then take 70 or 80%, 70 to 80% of that refinance. You use that money. You go buy another rental property. You repeat this 10 to 15 times. All of a sudden, you got $17,000 to $20,000 in rental income coming in. Then eventually, you can take enough equity to go buy a bigger property, right? You can go get you a 200-300 unit property, right? A cash flowing property.
Yeah.
Things of that nature. So of course, real estate's always gonna be, my recommendation because my grandfather raised me on real estate, so obviously I'm not in the biggest space of it, right? I'm honestly working on getting my second rental property this year. So, hey, like I said, but I'm always gonna recommend real estate, of course.
Your rental property, that's not with Airbnb, right?
No, it's just a regular, it's family owned. Family owned rental property.
Oh, okay, okay.
Family owned. Yeah, they that's what I'm saying. They taught me the ways.
So do you think the popularity and oversaturation of Airbnb messed up the housing market?
The greed messed it up. People got too greedy. Airbnbs used to be reasonably priced.
Mm-hmm.
People started getting too greedy. Long story short.
So if someone wants to not go the Airbnb route, but they do want to get into real estate, they want to have rental properties, what's the first step of raising capital for that? Or do you think it would be easier if they rode around their city, looked for rundown homes, and doing that process.
So
instead?
there's a multitude of ways you can do this. Obviously, there's wholesaling. If you know what wholesaling is, it's basically being a real estate agent without being a real estate agent. Find distressed properties. One of my favorite, free strategies that I'll give you. Go to Zillow.com, look in your area, type in 30 days past, find houses that have been on market by 30 days past and that are listed by owner, sometimes by agent, but mostly by owner. Call all those people, put in a cash offer, take the cash offer, get it under contract, put the earnest money down, $500 to $1,500, whatever, cool. Take the contract, go sell it to an investor for slightly above, keep the difference. So let's say you found a house for $130, you offer them $120, you sell it to somebody else for $130, keep the $10,000 difference. That's one way, of course. Another way is obviously, again, find a cash flowing business. You can buy a cash flowing business too, guys, by the way. BuyBizSell.com. Go on TikTok. TikTok is very useful if you know how to use it. Go on TikTok and type in how to buy a business. There's plenty of TikToks that give you plenty of different websites that will that are similar to BuyBizSell, BYBIZ sell.com that you can buy already that you can buy businesses that are already cash flowing, and these businesses can go anywhere from a meat shop, a cleaners, trucking company, the FedEx postal delivery routes. Yes, you can buy mail delivery routes. By the way, wow. That's very that can be done. Anything you can buy, water wholesaling companies, the T-shirt blank manufacturing companies. There's a multitude of companies that can be bought. People, why are they selling them? For various reasons. Some people that are retiring, some people don't want to run the business anymore because they just don't feel like it. They've already made enough money, and they probably have money put away. They done made so much money doing this, they done put their money in other assets that don't require as much work. So they're just like, here, you can have this. Or they're trying to scale or move into something else. There's a multitude of reasons why people sell, right? But yeah, that'd be the main thing I tell you. Just focus on cash flow first, right? When it comes to making money, there's plenty of ways to make money. Don't let it be your passion, though. Obviously, again, this goes back to what I always say. Find what you love to do. Find what you're good at. So what you're good at is technical skills, math, English, reading, writing, history, biology, chemistry, physics, things of that nature, right? I'm good at math and physics, art, music, things of that nature, right? I played instruments, but it wasn't my thing, right? I can't draw to save my life. I can't do pottery to save my life, but some people can. If that's what you love to do, take that and then mix it in with what you're good at, with your technical skills, combine the two together, find a business that can do that, that's in that area, and then from there, scale it up. Focus on the craft and scale it up.
You don't think it's necessary for someone to get their real estate license in order to get into real estate, right?
You don't need it, but I mean, obviously, go educate yourself. That's all I'm ever gonna tell you. If that's the easiest way to do it, I mean, if it's there for you, if it's free, shoot, go do it. If you want to pay for it, do it. That's all I'm ever gonna tell you. All I'm ever gonna tell you is educate yourself. Please please make sure that whatever you're doing, whatever you're putting money into, you know what you're doing. Don't just hop into it because you saw it on TikTok. Hop into it because you saw it on social media. You can look into it. You can research it because you saw it on there, but don't just go just because, I saw my homie doing this, I'm going to go do it now. No, it might not be for you. What's for that person might not always be for you. Find what's for you. A lot of people don't want to take that time to find what's for them because that requires accountability and looking themselves in the mirror.
We briefly spoke on this earlier, but there are a lot of people that are self-proclaimed entrepreneurs, online trading gurus. So what are some scams people can look out for?
Beware of pump and dump schemes. Beware of people who can guarantee 100% returns. Beware of these gurus who think that you can just don't worry about learning. Just listen to my whatchamacallit. Just follow my signals and everything will be okay. Stop it. I'm be honest with y'all. If I want to follow some signals, I'm just gonna go buy a bot. Go buy there's robots that do this.
Take my 10-day course.
take my 10-day course. Like, I tell y'all to buy my book, but like, don't buy it if you're not going to read it. Don't waste your time. I don't want your $20. It's okay. I'll go make it myself. I promise you I don't care. Don't buy it if you're not going to read it. I wrote the book to educate people. My goal is education. I don't want to fish for you. If I wanted to fish for you, I would just keep the fish myself. My goal is to teach you how to fish so that we can fish together and get more fish. But if you don't want to be a fisherman, then go do something else. Go be a deep sea diver or something. I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't got to be a fisherman. Go do something else. Maybe you want to be the cook. That's cool. Go do that. Just be the best version of that. Stop worrying about what we're doing. Go be the best version of that. And just because I'm further along in what I'm doing than what you are, doesn't mean you won't eventually be further along in what you're doing. But don't worry about the race that we're running. Worry about the race you're running. And if it's not enough for you, find out more ways to make it enough and put the damn work in.
So we're gonna close off with this. What's your best advice for the folks in their early 20s that want to start the process of building assets?
Educate yourself, not just the X's and O's, but the way the world works, right? You need to learn how money works. You need to learn how credit works. You need to learn how to leverage. You know what I'm saying? You need to learn how to leverage yourself. You need to learn human nature, psychology. You need to learn interpersonal relationship skills. Stop being scared to speak to people. You need to learn how to speak to people. You need to learn how to articulate yourself in a proper manner. And take smart risks. Mm-hmm. So make some money. And if you got $5,000 and you want to go take a $1,500 risk, take the risk. Because you can do all the studying in the world, but if I do say eventually you have to go do. Mm-hmm. You have to go learn somewhere. Mm-hmm. Everybody sucked at first. Mm-hmm. It's okay to suck. We all couldn't shoot a basketball when we first started. And then eventually some of us learned how to shoot, right? We all, or what happens is you learn your strength and weakness and then you go focus on the strength. So that the weakness gets mitigated, right? You know what I'm saying? So or you know what I'm saying? Either or, one way or the other. Either you learn it's not for you and you pivot and go another way, and it's okay to pivot. It happens, right? Or you know what I'm saying? Or you get good at what you do and you continue to build on it.
Well, there you have it, folks. Justin, I feel like this shit might have been like 2 hours. That's what it felt like.
And look, you know me. Look, I'm be honest with you. Y'all ever want me on any podcast whatsoever?
Hell yeah,
maybe I might, start, dropping gems and stuff like that. But like, I could go for hours. I tell people this all the time. I may be only 25, but because of, I think that I'm a little unique in that I had the opportunity to experience a lot at a young age, and so I have a lot of knowledge and stuff that I want to share, and I want to help the youth because I grew up on the South Side where I wasn't necessarily struggling, but I grew up with certain people who I felt like had the potential to make it, but didn't have the opportunity, and I want to be the person that provides that opportunity for those people and show them how to get it done.
Real quick before we close out, the group Cave Cartel. Are y'all like taking any interns? Would y'all be open to having any like young?
I'm looking for
shadow y'all.
So I'm looking for an assistant. I'm looking for people in the following cities. If you're in Houston, I'm looking. We're trying to start a team out there. We're trying to bring our wave and movement. I have some ideas for Houston. I want to do Oklahoma City. If you're out there, I would like to go that way. As far as Atlanta goes,
tap in with these Georgia State folks.
Obviously, if you're at Georgia State, I'd love to, chop it up with you. If you want to learn the game and you want me to help you out with certain things, we would definitely like to put you on the Cave Conglomerate. We are looking to expand now. So if you're interested in what I do, right, and you feel like you're a good people person and you really want to bring yourself out in any light form, in any way or form or fashion, social media or, you want, or being a host or MC, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
You can contact me at movemaker_, MOVEMAKER_. You can also, you can contact us at Cave Cartel at CAVECARTEL. I'm also looking for a fashion designer. I'm actually in very dire need of that. That is not my forte, and I have some merchandise stuff that I'm trying to get done, and really looking to find somebody that could help me, kind of bring these visions to life. I have notes of ideas for you, so I have a direction for you already. Our email is thecavecartel@gmail.com. You know what I'm saying? If you have any questions for us whatsoever, like I said, feel free to ask me anything. I promise you, I'm not one of those. I'm not a celebrity. I'll never be one. I'm like Shaq, right? I want to just be a regular guy that goes in and gives to the community, and somebody that I don't ever want to feel like I can't go to the hood and get a 10-piece lemon pepper wing, extra wet, extra crispy. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever want to feel like I'm too good to go get me something to go get something that we all do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got the money so that I could be free to do whatever I want. I don't ever want to feel limited. And I'm still on the way. I ain't as successful as I want to be yet. You know what I'm saying? The M's are loading. We'll get there soon. A couple more years.
Well, there you have it, folks. Justin, you definitely coming back. Period. You definitely coming back. Just let me know when you're ready. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of From the Hold on, before I close, what Cave Cartel, you guys were with Drake yesterday at Spell House? Or
So they weren't. I just so happened to be there. Let me just clarify. We weren't. Look, Drake, I'd be honored if Cave Cartel could host something for you, obviously. But no, Fly Guy DC, who is the GOAT, the GOAT. He is officially stamped 100%. That's the GOAT, no question. I got work to do. You're right. I got work to do, my boy. I gotta get further because you showed me something. He brought Aubrey Graham out to the goddamn Spellhouse concert last night. I cannot believe this. I was 15 feet away from this man. I can't believe this shit. I ain't gonna lie. I was looking to my right. I'm on the phone. I see Drake. I said, Drake? Yeah, Soulja Boy verse. I was like, Drake? Mr. Views? I was that shit like, whoa, you what? Come on. You already know. But either way, Roll Tide, my boy. You know you love us. Come on down. Come show some love to Tuscaloosa. We want to see you. What's up? We can get the Skybox tickets, all of that. But yeah, Drake came. It was Drake, Travis Scott. I'm sorry, Drake, Drake Yachty,
I saw
21 Savage,
21 was there.
Gloss Up. It was Gloss Up, Slimerella, like that whole girl group. I'm sorry, I don't know their names like that. I should know them. My bad, y'all. But shout out Memphis for sure. But that whole, group that, Glorilla be around, the ratchet ass friends, you know what I'm saying? Who else was up there? It was a couple other folks, but I was really politicking back to. I didn't get there till like 10 o'clock. So, but yeah, I got there and Drake came on and he did Knife Talk with 21 and
Damn.
It was amazing. He only did 2 songs and basically said he told the Morehouse student board, y'all need to invite me back next year so I can do a full show. And if you're coming back, please bring everybody. Just make it a whole YMCMB. Just make it everybody. Nicki, Wayne, bring everybody. No ceilings. I want to hear Thank Me Later. By the way, Thank Me Later is Drake's best album ever. It is his most complete. I just want y'all to know. Go back and listen to it.
That's the first album, right? Thank Me Later?
No, Thank Me Later is Kush, Roll, Glass, Full, I Prefer the Better Thing.
Yeah, that's his first. That's
No,
his debut album.
you think it's So Far Gone. You're thinking
So Far Gone
I
was the
want the
mixtape.
money in the cars.
That's his mixtape.
No, that's the first. So Far Gone is his first debut. Thank Me Later.
Yeah,
is
mixtape.
Was it mixtape? It
Yeah.
was. Dang, I'm sorry,
but
Drake.
I do agree with you. Thank Me Later. That's his best project.
Thank Me Later is his best project ever. And the fact that Drake said that he didn't finish it, he said that it wasn't complete.
Damn.
Can you please give us the remastered version? Please. I want to hear that. Go back and look through Thank Me Later. That was his best tape. Miss Me, Up All Night, Over, Fireworks, Light Up. Classics. But Either way, that's it for me. I'm signing off. Move Maker out. You did.
From the block. Let's go. Woo!